TFA fam, what is up? What is happening? Back again, another week. We are on to week 13. And today we're going to be discussing our must-start wide receivers this week. Before we do, make sure you click that like and subscribe button. It is the Christmas season. That's all I want for Christmas this year, okay? That's all I want is a like and subscribe. That's it. So to kick things off, let's roll right into our wide receiver rankings for week 13. We got Cooper Kupp leading things off. Surprise, surprise. Tyreek Hill, Justin Jefferson, Keenan Allen, Stephon Diggs, Deontay Johnson, Chris Godwin, CeeDee Lamb, DeAndre Hopkins, Mike Evans, Terry McLaurin, and Michael Pittman against Houston. Follow that up with our wide receiver twos. We have Jamar Chase, Adam Thielen, DK Metcalf, Cordero Patterson, Jalen Waddle, T. Higgins, Tyler Lockett, Marquise Brown, Amari Cooper. If he plays, we'll have to monitor that. He is dealing with a little bit of results from the COVID, so he may not be active. If he's not, then that'll obviously change things, especially with Michael Gallup, Brandon Ayuk, Brandon Cooks, Devontae Smith round out our wide receiver twos. And for our wide receiver threes, we have Darnell Mooney, Hunter Renfrow, Chase Claypool, Mike Williams, Elijah Moore, Odell Beckham, Van Jefferson, Jerry Jeudy, Jacoby Myers, Michael Gallup, Cortland Sutton, and Kendrick Bourne. Cody, why don't you lay him with the goodness? Let him know what wide receivers you are must starts this week.
Yeah, you kind of alluded to it there a little bit with the Amari Cooper news. Obviously, did not practice today, although they expected him to. Still hasn't been taken off of the COVID IR list. So the guy that I'm going to lead things off with is Sir Michael Gallup. Obviously has a higher upside and a higher ceiling if Amari Cooper sits out. But even if Amari Cooper plays, I do like Gallup in this matchup. Saints have given up the fifth most half PPR points per game to wide receivers. And outside of the game to Philly a few weeks ago, the Saints have been pretty damn good against the run as well. So that, we heard some of the conflicting reports with, hey, they might rest Ezekiel Elliott. And then, what does Ezekiel Elliott go and do? He gets a full practice in, and then you have Uncle Jerry out there talking about that Ezekiel Elliott's going to see a massive workload in this game. Either way, I think that the path to least resistance is going to be through the passing game. So really like Michael Gallup as a wide receiver 3 here with wide receiver 2 upside, depending on Amari Cooper. And I think even if he does play, I don't think we see Cooper play a full allotment of snaps, considering that he's still dealing with some of these side effects. And again, even if he plays, I think Michael Gallup is going to play a big role in this game. Next up for me, I'm going to go back to this. I talked about him last week. I am returning to the Claypool well, basically for the same reasons of why I liked him last week. So we have game script and then the big plays led up by the team that the Steelers are facing, and that is the Baltimore Ravens. This line has already went from the Steelers being 2.5-point dogs to 4-point home dogs. I wouldn't be surprised to see this finish around like the 5.5 to 6 mark, even by the time that Sunday rolls around. The Ravens have given up the most catches of 20-plus yards in the season with 51, and they've also given up the most catches of 40-plus yards on the season at 12. As always, Big Ben is going to be the limiting factor here and his ability to get the ball downfield. Chase Claypool did have 82 yards, but only on 3 catches, but he had 8 targets. So if he's able to take one of those, catch an extra, target or 2, find the end zone, I think Chase Claypool could be in for a big week here in week 13. Kev, what say you? Who do you got here in this wide receiver 3 range for the folks?
Yeah, first up is Hunter Renfrow. And, if we find out that Darren Waller gets ruled out in this game, because right now we're not really sure, he has that IT band injury. So if he's unable to go, it really opens the door for Hunter Renfrow, especially in the slot. But regardless of that, on the season, he has 64 receptions, 658 receiving yards, 4 touchdowns. He's averaging about 14 fantasy points per game. I was also really surprised. He is 7th in yards after the catch this year with 319. Like, he just doesn't strike me as that type of dude. He also has 12 red zone targets, 14th among all wide receivers, and he also has a 2.16 yards per route run and a 21% target share in this offense. And he gets some great matchup. Landon Collins and Kendall Fuller both split time inside the slot, 66% completion percentage, 399 receiving yards, 6 touchdowns allowed for Landon Collins, and 134.2 passer rating, which is terrible. So he's going to see him, and he's also going to see Kendall Fuller. Surprise, surprise, he's also not good, 71.8% completion percentage, 560 169 receiving yards, 2 touchdowns, and a 98.9 passer rating allowed. So both great matchups. Hunter Renfrow should be in for another great week again this week. Past that, we got Odell Beckham, who's a wide receiver. We saw him last week come out after the bye, something that I kind of liked. I thought he was going to be much more involved in the offense, and that he was. 98% of the snaps, 10 targets, 1 red zone target, and 5 receptions, 81 yards, and a touchdown. A lot of that coming on that long touchdown that he caught. But this week he gets the Jags, allowed the 16th most fantasy points to wide receivers, and is going to see Nevin Lawson the most, who has a 64% completion percentage and 100.9 passer rating allowed. So another really great matchup for Odell Beckham, really, and for Van Jefferson as well. I think he's also a strong wide receiver 3 as well. And then Christian Kirk, playing 43% of the snaps from the slot. I do expect DeAndre Hopkins to return this week, along with Kyler Murray. As long as we do, we'll see Christian Kirk kick into the slot more often than not here. On the season, he has 49 receptions, 628 receiving yards, 4 touchdowns, and a 2.19 yard per route run with 12.6 fantasy points per game. The Bears allow the 5th most fantasy points to wide receivers. Now, the matchups here are, again, outstanding. He's going to see Xavier Crawford, who allows an 83% completion percentage and 100.1 passer rating, or Artie Burns, who allows a 61% completion percentage and 137.5 passer rating. So wheels motherfucking up for Christian Kirk this week, no matter what. Unless something happens and Kyler Murray doesn't play, then that would change things a little bit. But regardless, I do expect Kyler Murray to be back this week after coming off the bye, another week of rest, along with DeAndre Hopkins. So those 3 wide receivers are the guys that I'm rocking with this week.
Yeah, we saw Christian Kirk be able to put up some solid numbers, even with Colt McCoy and a quarterback as well. And the one thing I do just really quickly before we get out of here, at first when I looked at the Jacksonville matchup for the Rams, I was like, because trying to decide on where to put Van Jefferson and Odell. I was like, man, what if they get up and they don't really, pass the ball that much? This offense has to get going. Man, they've dropped 3 in a row. They've been sputtering a little bit as well. So I don't think, even if they do jump out ahead, I don't think we see, Sean McVay, this team, really rest in the, in the second half. I think they really need to start clicking, especially, still second division and all that. So they got to start getting that offense right and getting back on the right track.
Oh, I absolutely agree. This has to be a get right game for this Rams offense. We don't want to see what happened last year to them, where they started to fall off in the second half. They did make the playoffs there, but I just think that here that with this game, this has to be the game that they really get right, and the Jaguars are going to give them all the opportunity in the world because their offense is absolutely terrible. So, anyways, with that being said, I hope everybody has a great week. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button for future content. Like I said, that's all I want for Christmas. Some people want 2 front teeth. I just want to like and subscribe. It's absolutely free. I appreciate it. Be sure to hit us with the comment section below. If you have any questions, start sit questions, what have you. We will be here all week, or you can jump into our absolutely free Discord. That's all we're here for, is to try to help you guys win. We're getting really close to the fantasy playoffs, only a few weeks away. So let's get them dubs. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.